are talking or try to talk about Maryam, no. The one you can see is the servant of Allah. And can you say that a lady like this will give birth to one who's saying, I am a servant of Allah, if this comes from haram? How come he would say, I'm a servant of Allah, and he's haram at the same time? It's contrary, it doesn't work. Inni Abdullah. Atani al-kitab, and he gave me the book. وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا, and I am a prophet. وَجَعَلَنِي مُبَارَكًا أَيْنَمَا كُنْتُ, and he made me a blessed wherever I go. وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ مَا دُمْتُ حَيًّا, and ordered me to pray and give zakah as long as I am alive. وَبَرًّا بِوَالِدَتِي, and to be dutiful to my mom. وَلَمْ يَجْعَلْنِي جَبَّارًا شَقِيًّا, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala didn't make me a wrong man or a bad man. Every word of these, brothers, is an answer to the Jews at that time, an answer to the Christian this time. So, to the Jews at that time, as I said to you, he said, Inni Abdullah. Number two, that I'm a prophet. And to say to them that how come you will talk about this lady if she gave birth to a prophet? What can you say? And they have a book. And you are talking about Salah Zakah, I will do the same. If you are in the Torah being dutiful to your parents, I will do the same. So you cannot say anything. Now about the Christians, saying that Isa, he is son of God or God. No. So the first word he said what? Abdullah. How can he be God if he's Abd? Abdullah. Atani al-kitab. How can he be God if he has a book? Why he need a book if he's God? وَجَعَلَنِي نَبِيًّا. I'm a prophet. How he will be a God if he's a prophet? So these ayahs is a proof in the Quran that Isa alayhi salam is a prophet, he's not God. And وَأَوْصَانِي بِالصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ. So if he's God, why shall he pray? So the people praying for him or to him, subhanahu wa ta'ala. Now the people there, some of them accepted the fact, some of them didn't accept the fact. But Isa alayhi salam and Maryam went to their place. But there is, at that time, as the historian says, and this is what I'm saying now, is not on authentic Sunnah. It is what al-Tabari and Ibn Kathir and Ibn al-Athir mentioned in their books. So they are saying that at that time, Palestine was ruled by the Romans. So the king of the Romans, he saw a star, or two stars came together. So when he asked the consultants, they said to him, this means that there is a baby born and this person will be a threat to your kingdom. So he said, I'd like to find him. Then they followed, and then Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered Maryam and the Messiah to leave Jerusalem or leave Palestine and go to Egypt. Now here I'd like to stop for a minute to talk about the time of the birth now. Now, as you know, the Christians, they are saying that Isa was born when? 25th of December. All of them, they are saying the same?
Yes.
No, not all of them. The Russian, They don't celebrate Christmas on the 25th. They celebrate on the 7th of January. So they are different. So the East and the West, they are different on the Christmas. Now, let us try to find out what is the 25th of December. Now you know that Isa alayhi salam, he was in Jerusalem and he started to preach. And then this happened, that when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala took him the heaven, or what the other people say that the crucifixion. So Christians at that time, they tortured and they had problems all the time. Until one of the Roman kings, around 300, converted to Christianity. Because he married a Christian lady. So now that king, it was difficult for him to leave all his pagan ideas. So what he did, he asked his people or the consultants to make a mix now between the Christianity and the paganism. And one of the things that they mixed, there's actually three things mixed. One of them, the Christmas Day. They used to celebrate the 25th of December because it comes after the 24th. Now everyone say, okay, we know that 25th comes after the 24th. So what's new about this? Yes. 24th of December is the shortest day of the year. And what they used to do, that when 25th starts, then they celebrate that day because it is as the sun is newborn now. And they used to do all these things, which is, you see it in the Christmas. Actually what you see in the Christmas is a mix between the pagans of that time and the Swedish pagans in the same, which is the tree came from these areas. But what you will see in the Christmas in itself is from the Romans. The second thing they brought is this, the Trinity, the Father, the Son, and the Holy Ghost. And the third thing, which is, if you remember, I spoke about it last year, the Halloween also came from them. So these three things came from the Romans. There's other things, but these the main things. Now someone will come and ask, brother, you are talking about something, 25th of December, and look, you are saying now, all this world now, they don't know when to celebrate their prophet? I say yes. And the proof in their book. We have a proof from their book and proof of our book. So what's the proof from their book? The proof of their book, that in Matthew, saying that when he was born, there was shepherds at night, and the angel appeared to them and spoke to them. And he told them that there is a great man who was born. So anyone go to the New Testament will find this. So when this happened, at night, and there's shepherd. Anyone who being grown up in an area when there is shepherds and sheep. I grew up in area they had this. Have you seen that the shepherds, they move their sheep and bring them back home at night in December? Huh? No, because at December, even because now the sun sets at around 4, so at that time, say in Jordan or Palestine at 5, So he was born in December, and then still the shepherds at that time, in that cold, and maybe you've seen on the TV that it was just last week, it was 50 centimeters or 1 meter in the snow there. So the shepherds, they are in that cold, they are looking after their sheep at night in December. This is nonsense. This is a proof from them that this cannot happen in December. This will happen only in the summer, because in the summer the day is long. So, and when the night starts, then they will bring back their sheep. So this is acceptable from the Quran. Now, when we spoke about the story, what we said, what Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, that هُزِّ إِلَيْكِ بِجِذْعِ النَّخْلَةِ, so shake the palm tree. Now, anyone who knows about the palm trees and the dates, he knows that the palm trees start, the people, they can collect them from June to August. These are the 3 months that the people will collect them. So this means that it cannot be in December, because in December there is no dates. So this is a proof from the Quran. So this means that the 25th of December from the Injil is wrong, from the Quran is wrong, and as I mentioned to you, this is why they chose the 25th. So you can see that Christmas in itself, what they are celebrating something, nothing to do with Isa alayhi salam. They are celebrating something to do with other than the Christianity. And I myself looked at many of their websites, the Christians, and many of them, they are saying clearly that we cannot agree on a certain date of the birth of Isa alayhi salam. Some they say March, 14th of March. Some of say it is in July. Some say December. And even one of their websites, they are mentioning this, the shepherd, and they say this cannot be, this story mean that he cannot be born in December. So from this, we'll find that the Quran narration about this is the only authentic narration about the birth of Isa alayhi salam. And all this Christmas business, it is business, absolutely business. It has nothing to do with the deen of Isa alayhi salam or any other deen. Now Isa alayhi salam, and his mother went to Egypt, and they stayed there, according to many of the historians, about 12 years. And during these 12 years, he grew up and was a righteous person, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala showed him some miracles at that time. One of the miracles that Ibn Kathir mentioned in his book, that they lived in a place, and that place there is many people who were poor people, and that person, for all those poor people who was there, he gave them the accommodation. And obviously there's other people, they are paying for their accommodation. So what happened? That person, the owner of that place, he used to hide the money in like a cupboard, and it is not easy to reach it. So he went to bring some money of it. He found there's no money. So then he started asking, where is the money? Who has seen the money? And no one said anything. Now Maryam and Isa alayhi salam were so upset of this. How come this person who gave us the accommodation free, and then we'll find this? And Isa alayhi salam went to two people. One of them blind and one of them disabled. And he said to the disabled, to the blind one, now I'd like you to carry the disabled and stand up. He said to him, I cannot do this. It is very difficult. He said, no, but you did it when you stole the money. So what he did, that he put the disabled one on his, because the blind, he cannot see it, but that disabled, he can see where's the money. So he carried him on his back, and that disabled got the money, and they used it. So when he said to them this fact, they knew that no one saw them at that time. So they believed that Isa alayhi salam has special miracles, and this gave him a lot of respect. Isa alayhi salam went back to Palestine, and when he was 30 years old, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered him to carry the message. And he blessed him with memorizing the Torah. And scholars, they are saying only 4 people memorized the Torah in the history at that time. So Musa alayhi salam and one of his companions, and Uzair, which mentions Surah Al-Baqarah, and Isa alayhi salam. So he memorized the Torah, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gave him the Injil. And he started preaching Islam and saying to the people, مصدقا لما بين يدي من التوراة, confirming what's in front of me of the Torah, and I have the Injil, and in this Injil I will make the things which difficult to you easy. وَلْأُحِلَّ لَكُمْ بَعْضَ الَّذِي حُرِّمَ عَلَيْكُمْ. So I will make halal for you some of the things which is haram. And obviously this doesn't nothing to do with the basic things, only with some of the things that the Jews, because they ask a lot of questions, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made it hard for them. فَاتَّقُوا اللَّهَ وَأَطِيعُونَ, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and follow me. So the people start to ask him for miracles. Isa alayhi salam, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala inspired him and said to him, okay, take some clay, shape it like a bear, then blow in it by the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it will become birds. So, in front of all of the people, he said, this is now ayah, this is a miracle. He brought some clay, shape it in the shape of a bird, blow in it, and subhanAllah started flying, and all of them they saw it flying in front of them. Do you need more? Yeah, they still need more. He was walking with his disciples, and he passed a graveyard. He found a lady, and that lady was weeping, crying. He said, what's wrong? She said, can you see that grave? Yes, my daughter died, and I'd like to die. I cannot live without her. Oh, the word of Allah. Could you bring it back? He said, by Allah, this will happen. So he sat and prayed to Allah. So prayed to Allah once, then the grave moved. Prayed to Allah again, then the grave started to shake. Then prayed the third time, then the girl came out of the grave. Allahu Akbar. So when she saw, what's going on? He said to her, your mother cannot live without me. She said to her, Mom, I've been enjoying Jannah there. Why do you want me to come to this earth? I'd like to go back to Jannah. She said, what about me? The mother. She said, be patient and you'll be with me. Allahu Akbar. Then she asked Isa alayhi salam to give that, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, she would go back. She went back, and that lady, she was patient, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala granted her Jannah. Again, Isa alayhi salam was walking, then a blind man saw him and he said, "Oh, word of Allah, look at my situation. I am blind, I cannot see, there is no one to guide me." Then he, Bismillah, and that man, his sight came back. And the miracle here, that that man was born as a blind. This is the miracle. Because there is difference, as you know, between a person who born as a blind, which is, even these days with all this technology, they say it's difficult if he born as a blind. But if someone, he became blind because of an accident or a disease, they might try to do something. But that one was born as a blind. And the other one, he has the skin disease, leper. So he said, look at my situation, the word of Allah, pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So Isa alayhi salam touched him, Bismillah, and his skin became normal skin, very beautiful skin, by the will of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And more, the people came to him and he said to them, I'll tell you what you have eaten and what left at home. So he said, okay, what I have eaten? He said, you have eaten meat or dal or other things. So they say yes. And there is something left. There is the shoulder or left or anything else. وَأُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِمَا تَأْكُلُونَ وَمَا تَدَّخِرُونَ فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ. This is in Surah Al-Imran. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala mentioned also a great miracle in Surah Al-Ma'idah. Actually, the surah in itself has the name. And now, this miracle came as a request from the disciples, the Hawariyin. What happened? Isa alayhi salam asked them to fast 30 days. So when the 30 days finished, they said, Oh Isa, could you ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to bring us a feast, to celebrate that we finish this ibadah? He said, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala if you are believers. They said, we'd like to eat from it, and it will be a proof, and will be witness. And we know also that everything you say is absolutely true. So Isa alayhi salam prayed to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. قال اللهم ربنا أنزل علينا مائدة من السماء تكون عيدا لأولنا وآخرنا وآية منك وارزقنا وأنت خير الرازقين. Oh Allah, bring to us Ma'idah, a feast from Sama, heavens, and it will be Eid for the first generation, the last generation, and it will be approved from you or a sign from you. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him, the feast will come. And it was the night of Jumu'ah, and Isa alayhi salam and all the people there were looking. When the feast came down, and it was between two clouds, and the angels, they are carrying it. And Isa was praying, Oh Allah, make it rahmah, make it mercy, not punishment. Until it came down, and it was covered with a cloth. So when it came down, they say, Isa alayhi salam moved the cloth so they can see 7 big fish on it. So Isa alayhi salam said to them, eat. They said, no, we will not eat until you eat. Even at that time, they have still doubts. So Isa alayhi salam started and he said to them, look, you'll enjoy this every day, but there is a condition. You don't save or take anything home. They said, okay. So they started, every day they have the feast. So these fish, they finish and come again as no one touched it. So they kept for a while. Then subhanallah, the greedy of these people cannot be changed. So they started first to take some, put in their pockets. Then the pockets moved, now they start to bring bags. And the bags became bigger, so when it became bigger, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said, okay, that's it. So he took the ma'idah back and didn't come again. So this is the miracle of Isa alayhi salam. Now Isa alayhi salam continued preaching Islam and asking these people to follow Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. But those who followed him was very few numbers, 12 or 13, which the Quran called them al-Hawariyun. Man ansari Allah, قال الحواريون نحن أنصار الله آمنا بالله واشهد بأننا مسلمون. We believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and you are our witness that we are Muslims. At that time, as I mentioned earlier, the king of the Romans at that time, he heard about Isa, about his da'wah, about what he's doing. So he was unhappy with this. And also the Jews, they went to him and they said, there is a man calling for the destruction of your kingdom. And he's saying that he will build or establish the kingdom of God in Jerusalem. So the Injil talks about this story. We have in the Sunnah nothing to prove or disapprove this. Even if we believe in what happened, that the Jews, they said that, so they decided to kill him. Now Isa alayhi salam used to be with his disciples praying to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and they used to have a place where they are performing their ibadah. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala informed him that one of them will be dishonest. So Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala will punish him in this dunya. So what happened? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made that person to look like Isa alayhi salam. Now here about the name, there is, some of them say the name is Sam'an, some of them they say Yehuda. So, but the idea is, there is a person that Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made him look like Isa alayhi salam. And Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala said to him in Surah Al-Imran, وَإِذْ قَالَ اللَّهُ يَا عِيسَى إِنِّي مُتَوَفِّيكَ وَرَافِعُكَ إِلَيَّ وَمُطَهِّرُكَ مِنَ الَّذِينَ كَفَرُوا. So the word مُتَوَفِّيكَ means, al-wafa means dying. And there's two types of dying. The absolute